Alright, so today I'm going to install some Raxiom fog lights, halo fog lights on my 2013 Mustang GT. They were on sale at American Muscle and I couldn't stop myself. I went ahead and got them while they were on sale. I just thought I'd show you real quick when they arrive. This is what it looks like. You've got the two little instruction sheets that everyone complains about. There's front bumper removal and the halo fog light installation is there, and then the two headlights, the green and the red, which does not correspond with starboard and port as many people have found out. But we'll go out next and get started taking the front bumper off and show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how I install the fog lights. Okay, so the way these push pins come out is just like any other push pin. There's a little indentation here. You can fit your flathead screwdriver in. You just pop it up about like that, and then you take your flathead screwdriver underneath here and it'll pop right out like so. So that's how the push pin gets removed. Alright, so I got most of the push pins out. There's one more back here. It's in kind of a goofy location. I almost missed it. Thankfully I knew how many there were. Once you get that last one out, this cover will just pop right out of place. So this will just lift right off. There we go. Alright, so now our cover is gone and we have 4 8mm bolts and 4 plastic screws we got to get out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll show you real quick these last 2 8mm. Look like that. And the 4 plastic screws. And the screw comes out, and then this little plastic piece should pop right off, like so. I'll store those together so I don't lose them. Alright, so I've had a little bit of a problem with the plastic screws. If you look at this one here, and you probably just saw this a second ago, when I spin this one, it doesn't back out. 2 of them backed out, 2 of them didn't. This one and this one did not back out. And I think what's happened is, when they put them in, they over-tightened them, and it's just stripped the very bottom of that screw, and now it won't come out. So I've got this little plastic tool, just kind of working it out. Tried with the other one from here to unscrew it and it didn't work. I thought maybe this one would. It's not doing it either, so I just ended up popping the other one out, which is probably what I'm going to do on this one. So just be careful with your paint. You don't scratch anything. There we go. So they will pop out. You just got to put a little muscle. Nothing scratched, but I'll probably get those replaced. Okay, so we've come around to the driver's side. I've cocked the wheel in a little bit, as you can see, turned it in a little to make it a little easier to access these and to show you. There's 4 bolts we have to remove. 1, 2, 3, and number 4 is right under, I don't know if I can show you that or not, right under here. That's number 4. So all 4 of those are all 4 of those are 7mm, so you got to remove these on driver's side and passenger side. It's the exact same thing on the other side. Alright, so up next we've got to get 3 screws, 7mm trim bolts underneath the bumper, just in front of the plastic oil service splash pan. I've seen some videos where they take this whole underbody guard off. You can do it that way, I guess. There's a lot more screws to unscrew if you're going to do it that way. I think Raxiom just has you leave it on. As you get under here, you're going to see my car actually doesn't have it. It would be right here. There would be a big plastic piece right here. And this back here, I think you can see that. There you go. That's the oil guard they're talking about. So there in the picture. If you look up at the top here, I'm going to try and get under here so you can see it. The 3 bolts they want you to remove, there's one here. I'm right in the middle of the car now. Going towards the driver's side, you got 2 big bolts here. Those stay in. This is one of the bolts that they want out. And then if you go down to the other side over here, you have the same thing. You can't see it from here, but right under here is the 3rd one. So normally there would be a big plastic, black plastic thing right here. You undo those 3 bolts, the one here, one right in the middle of the car here, and one here. So you can see here. And then this will all come off with the bumper, or you can take off the ones that are attached to the front of the bumper up here, and then you can take that whole plastic piece off. Either way I think would work. It's just a matter of whether you want to do the work to get that thing off or just leave it attached to the bumper and then reattach it later with just the 3 bolts, or if you want to take, it looked like there were like 10 or 15 bolts maybe holding that thing to the front of the bumper, so it'd be a lot of work getting it off. But those are the 3 7mm trim bolts that you have to get off underneath the bumper that's just in front of the plastic oil service splash pan. Alright, so we're very close to getting the bumper off. We just need to disconnect a couple of electrical issues. So the turn signal on each side looks like this. There we go. Up at the top there's a little clip you push down on, and then you just sort of wiggle a little. I know it's a little blurry, and it comes right off. Let's see if I can show you. There's a little, you just push down right here, and then it wiggles off. Alright, so that is off. That's the right blinker for the car. And then we come around to the front here. There's a fog light here, a fog light over there, and then right down here is your outside air temperature right here. And it's on with a couple little clips, and you just sort of gotta, gotta wiggle and pull those, and those clips will come right off. There it goes, like that. So there's your 2 little clips that are holding it on. They just pull right off. So now we got to do the left turn signal, and then all that will still be connected wiring wise is the fog lights. And I'm thinking that's going to be a lot easier to disconnect those with the bumper partially off. So that's what we're going to go for. So I'll get the other turn signal, and then we'll start pulling the bumper off. Okay, so we've got both turn signals unhooked now. All the bolts and screws are out. So now it's held on with a couple of clips around the side. This is the part I think that makes everybody nervous, including me. Because you've just got to kind of reach in here and grab a hold of this, pull it a little, and it unsnips just like that. So it does take a little bit of a pull, but it'll just unsnap like that. You gotta do the same thing on the other side, which I'll go do real quick. Alright, so we've pulled out both sides, so they're loose. You can see here, and on the other side, same thing here. And they just snapped out. I'll give you a little look at that clip here in just a minute, so you can see what those little clips look like. And then this part, there's like a hole back here you can reach into, and you can just kind of push and shake, and there we go. That whole bumper will come out like this. And now we've got to get the headlights, or the fog lights rather, disconnected. And so that's underneath here. Screwdriver, a flathead. So if you have a flathead screwdriver with you, looks like there's just a little clip back here to declip it. Okay, so I've got the front bumper off. I'm having a hard time getting the wire here disconnected, and I don't want to break it. So here's my next idea. There's 3 little bolts holding this on. 1, 2, and 3 is down here. You can't really see it, but it's underneath here. So I'm going to take those 3 bolts off, and then this whole assembly should come off, and then I can disconnect it without having to worry about straining that wire. And I'll do that to both sides. Okay, so we've got the right fog light out. I'm going to take the left one out. Just got a little help from a cameraman here, so I'll show you how it's done real quick. So there's the first one. The second one is down here. It's kind of hard to get to. You can't really see it well from up here. You gotta feel around and get on it. There it goes. And I suppose looking back now, it might be easier to do this while the bumper's still attached. You could just crawl under the car. And I think you could probably reach these and do it. There's the second one out, and then the third one's right here. And then it'll come right off once I get this one out. And hold it here so it doesn't fall. There we go. And then the whole assembly just pops right off. And set it down there, and now the bumper is completely disconnected. Good, thanks. Okay, so we have the fog light here. It would actually go in like this. If you flip it over, you can see this. I was having an issue getting this out, and I figured out you just need to put your screwdriver right here, press against this, and it'll pop off, and that will slide right out. Just be careful you don't push on this little bracket too hard and break it, but just up and out, and it pops over that little divot right there, and then it disconnects. So that's how you get them off. You, again, I think could do this from underneath the car. I just didn't know how to do it when it's the first time I've done this, so I didn't want to break it, and so I did it with the bumper off already. Okay, so we have the fog light out. That's it. We've got it turned over on the back. There's 5 T15 Torx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a release clip. If you look at this little thing here on the other side of that, this like pulls up and releases. Let's see if I can get an angle where you can see. So that pulls out and releases right there. You just got to give it a little pressure and it'll release right out. So we'll get those Torx out and release it, and we will get the bulb then out of the bracket for the fog light. Alright, so I just want to show you this. I've got the 5 hex T15 Torx pieces out, and this just sort of falls out. It kind of just comes right off. That's what the back side looks like. And then this piece, we talked about the little clip over here you had to pull up on, and once you pull up on that, the top part will kind of start sliding back, and then it'll catch down here, and this part you have to slide this way. So you pull the right side out a little bit and then slide left, and it'll come right apart just like that.